Succeeding in wholesale is very similar to succeeding full stop. So you're a brand new fashion business. You have to put everything, every effort into actually succeeding. So you need to take this exact same approach if you're wanting to succeed in wholesale or in marketplace or in any other new channel venture that you go into. So pretty much I'm going to talk through how to succeed in fashion wholesale, and I'm going to go about it from two different standpoints. So the first bit is actually how you can succeed opening an account. So that's obviously fundamental, because if you don't open an account, then we kind of have nothing else to talk about. And then the second bit is actually how do you then succeed as in longevity and profitability. So let's start with the first bit, how to succeed actually opening a wholesale account. So the very, very first bit actually comes down to what is your point of difference? So you have to be super honest with yourself. And I'm just going to use a basic example. Are you another sportswear brand? And are you just selling t-shirts and hoodies and joggers? And is it actually quite standard, quite normal? What is your point of difference? That's kind of the killer key question. You actually need to have a point of difference, because if you are just another sportswear brand selling the same items as everyone else, why are they going to buy into you? So you really do need to be honest with yourself. And if you're not at the point yet where you actually have a point of difference, it's highly unlikely that a buyer from a wholesale platform is going to take on your brand. Because again, they have to offer a point of difference to their customer. There's got to be a reason for them to buy you. So this is something that you should have fixed anyway in your business, because you should have a point of difference. You should have a reason to buy. So you really need to be quite clear with that, and it needs to be an honest answer. And you don't kid yourself, because you won't be able to kid them. There are experts, they buy multiple different brands. So what is your point of difference? It's really important to succeed in wholesale that you have one. So the next bit, to actually open an account. Are you actually ready to invest in going into wholesale? So what do I mean by that? I do mean monetary, but I also mean time. So are you ready to actually create a wholesale collection? So there's a stat that pretty much you need to have 20 to 25 options per drop per season. So that means that as a minimum, there's going to be 2 drops. Therefore, you need up to 50 options. So if you don't have that right now, are you ready to invest to make your collection big enough to enable you to hopefully be successful in wholesale? So also when it comes to investing, are you willing, can you invest in a CAD designer? So someone that can create a beautiful lookbook. Are you going to invest in beautiful photography to actually showcase your product in a professional manner? These are all things that you really need to take your business up a notch to actually be recognized as a brand, an established brand that they want to buy into, that they want on their platform. So again, you have to actually put a lot of time and money in to prove yourself to other people. So other factors when you're trying to open an account, again, you need to have quite a lot of followers. So this is something else that's a bit of a requirement, like the 20 to 25 options. There's another kind of rule, unspoken rule, that you need to have 50,000 Instagram followers. So it's not literally 50,000, but this is a guide for you to say again that you actually need to be more established as a brand. You can't be a startup. You can't just be starting out. There needs to be a following that's already out there. You need to again have established yourself enough in the market that again proves to this platform that you're worth their time investing in you. So again, this references back to their time and worth investing in you. So put the time in yourself to make sure that you are big enough. So the next bit is, this is now actually pretty common, that you will be rejected from a lot of wholesale platforms if you're not sustainable in some way. So if you're not, then I would encourage you to not actually approach going into wholesale right now. In some shape or form, become sustainable, because that is a fundamental now in the world that we live in. So super important. And then the last one, and this is just something that comes from my personal advice to any fashion brand that wants to go into wholesale: be open to feedback and be willing to change. If you are so headstrong that your product is amazing and that you won't change it at all for anyone, then wholesale is probably not going to be right for you. You are less likely to open an account if you're not willing to take on board feedback. So remind yourself, you might be the expert at your market with your customer, but they, the buyers on these third-party platforms, are the expert at their market. They know their customer, they know what works. You don't. So I'd encourage you to be open to their feedback and to be willing to change. And that's, again, to hopefully open an account. So in the very beginning, you could be rejected for some reason. They'll give you a reason why. If you go away and change that, improve it, then you're likely to then be successful the second time that you approach them. So that's what I specifically mean with regards to that. So now let's look at the second factor in being successful. So this is now looking at what you need to do to focus on the longevity, the success of your account, and therefore the profitability also. So one thing which it does happen in the beginning, but you need to focus on your pricing. So your pricing of which to be competitive. So you need to know your competitors in that market, especially if they're different to your local market. And you need to know the cost of the operation. So don't ever go into a wholesale relationship without actually knowing, can I afford to ship to that country? Will I make enough margin on my product with that existing price point? So you need to do quite a lot of work to be appealing, to be competitive, but also to be profitable to yourself. So pricing is a huge exercise that every fashion brand should be doing every season, in my advice. Secondly, to succeed in wholesale for the longevity again, are you willing to offer exclusives? So that's something that you need to look into. Again, cost, do you have the design scope, etc.? So make that decision, because it's a method to grow and it's a method to people please that platform, to show that you are willing to give that little bit extra. Other factors are, how quickly can you improve and expand your logistics capabilities? So what do I mean by that? A lot of these platforms, they want to work with you in a repeat basis, so a reorder basis. And that means that you, as a fashion brand, have to be able to ship reorders, repeats within 2 weeks. So that's super quick. So if you're a brand in Australia and you need to ship to the UK in 2 weeks, where is that stock? How quickly can you get it there? How long does all of this take? And if that's not within your capabilities, i.e. you don't sit on stock, you don't have stock available in Australia, then where can you store it in the UK and Europe? So that's something that you quite immediately need to look into as a brand that wants to succeed in wholesale. You need to be flexible. So you need to have your operation quite seamless, quite slick, and a global scale. Another one is, to succeed, you have to be an A-star student. So what do I mean by that? You need to not make mistakes. So a reason that you can lose an account and actually not be taken on for another season is actually through the most simplest things. So it can be, stop making label issues, i.e. you're missing the pricing on your labels again, or you don't have labels on your poly bags, but you do on your product, or you continually keep shipping late. So anything where you're making these simple mistakes, these mistakes add up. And over time, they can be detrimental to your longevity with the wholesale platform. So pretty much focus on the basics, on the fundamentals, and don't make these silly mistakes that you shouldn't be making. And then the last one, so it's over to you as much as it's the platform to continually be looking at your performance. So don't just focus on, it's my brand in my market, this is what I want to do. think about the global approach. So you're selling in wholesale, you're selling in marketplace, whatever. Continually keep reviewing the performance of every channel and then refining your next offer. So if in wholesale you're doing extremely well with dresses, but that's a small mix of your product assortment, change that. It's that simple. Don't ignore the data that's given to you. Be proactive and actually go forward to that platform and say, hey, I know this is doing well, therefore I have increased my assortment. This is my new offer, especially for you. So make them feel like you're really invested in it, as you correctly should be able to succeed. So I hope that that helps you understand what it takes to succeed in the very beginning of how you actually open accounts, and then actually how you set yourself up for success, looking at longevity and looking at profitability for your fashion brand. So I'm more than happy to answer any questions. Fashion wholesale is my area of expertise. So feel free to leave comments underneath this video or get in touch and I'll put the information on the screen. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye.